Hello all, myself Shibu, working as a backend developer with the Instana development team at the IBM India Software Labs. Today, I'm going to walk you through the steps to monitor the vSphere data center using Instana. The high-level deployment architecture of a monitoring environment would be as shown. We would have the vSphere, the core component of VMWares virtualization platform, which includes the ESXi hypervisor, the vCenter management software, and quite a few other modules required for setting up the data center that we plan to monitor. We then have IBM's Instana Observability, which is an observability platform that comes bundled with a rich set of features that helps you analyze and troubleshoot your IT infrastructure, application performance, and end user experience monitoring. You can also do a root cause analysis and anomaly detection of unexpected incidents that may have occurred within your IT infrastructure. With proper configurations, Instana can also be used to protect your application and IT infrastructure from outages. The Instana agent, combined with the vSphere sensor, collects the various matrices from the vSphere data center in a very optimized manner and sends the collected matrices to the Instana backend module. The backend module then aggregates the data collected from the sensor, mapping them to infrastructure entities, service and endpoint labeling, application grouping, etc., and finally ingests it for being consumed by the Instana dashboard. The UI components of the dashboard then displays this data using nodes, charts, time series graphs as applicable, and show the correlation between the various infrastructure entities, applications to service linking, request call tracing, etc., enabling users of all kind to understand the organization's IT infrastructure. We will have to configure the Instana agent for vSphere metric monitoring. This will be done by updating the agent configuration file, which will be located in the agent installation folder. The path would be agent installation directory /etc/instana, and the file name would be configuration.yaml. The configuration would have the sensor or the plugin name, which is com.instana.plugin.vsphere in this case. We then have the data center host name along with the /SDK endpoint. Then we provide the username and password, which has a read access to the vCenter's SDKs. The enabled attribute can be used to enable or disable the sensor. The poll rate attribute is used to set the polling interval to collect the matrices. The default interval is 20 seconds. As remote monitoring is supported, the agent can be installed on a VM within the vSphere data center, which ensures minimum latency and high performance, or from elsewhere with access to the data center. In case of a Kubernetes environment, we recommend installing the Instana agent separately on a dedicated machine to ensure that only one agent monitors the vSphere entities. The machine where the agent is running should be able to establish a network connection with the vCenter's SDK to gather the metrics. Alright, now that we have a configuration in place and we have the agent started, let's go to the Instana user interface. To get details of the data center we are to monitor, click on the Platforms tab and choose vSphere. This is the main screen you will see related to the vSphere monitoring. You will be able to see the platform name, the ESXi host associated with each platform, the virtual machines, the CPU and memory usage, and the network utilization details. To get more information on a data center, click on the data center name. This takes you to the data center summary page where you get to see the overall status, the time from which this data center is active, the CPU and memory usage details, and a few out-of-the-box dashboards which shows you the matrices that we have collected from the previous screens. This includes the CPU resources, the memory resources, the network utilization details, and the VM balloon memory. It also shows you the CPU usage details. Close to the summary tab, we have the ESXi host tab, which gives you details about the hosts that are associated with the data center. So we have 8 hosts associated with this data center, and in this page you get to see the number of virtual machines, the CPU usage, the core CPUs that are available for the data centers, the memory usage, and the memory resources that are available for consumption. To get more information on a specific ESXi host, you click on the ESXi host name. This takes you to the ESXi host summary details page, which again gives you the summary information of the ESXi host. When you navigate down, You get to see information about the storage that is associated with the ESXi host. You can expand any one of the rows to get further information about the storage on read and write time lags, the total number of read and writes that are happening, the amount of space that is available, the capacity, the free space that is available, a few items to display. Now, to get details about the virtual machines that are associated with this particular ESXi host, you click on the virtual machines tab. This gives you details about the virtual machines created and the status of the machines that are currently active on this ESXi host. When you click on any one of the hosts, you get to see more information about the host. All right, so you have the breadcrumbs at the top from where you can very easily navigate to your earlier stages. In case you want to see historical information about the data center, you have this area from where you can choose the time period for which you want to see the data. For example, if you want to see the data for the last 10 minutes, you click on the last 10 minutes and you get to see the data for the last 10 minutes. You can also provide a custom time interval by choosing the date and time that you want the data to be monitored. Clicking on the live button here shows you live information. Now you have this short link here, which generates a short link which you can share to, which you can copy and share with your colleagues to provide the dashboard data at this particular instance. So the features are not just limited to see the infrastructure metrics. You can also create events to get alerted when the matrices reaches a threshold value. You create the alerts and events from the settings tab. Go to the settings. You need to first create an event. So go to the events tab, create a new event. As a use case, let's consider that the CPU usage on a particular VMware host is exceeding 85%, and in that case, you need to get an alert. So we just name the event. VM CPU threshold limit reached. Web description. The issue severity can be chosen. You use critical. If you want an incident to be raised, you can choose that. You can specify the grace period. The grace period is the period before which uh, the event is closed once the conditions are no longer met. So choose the events grace period. Condition, you're using built-in metrics. So the entity type would be the vSphere VM or a ESXi host. Choose vSphere VM in our case now. The time window is, let's say, in an interval of 5 minutes, if there is a CPU resource usage above exceeding 85%, we need to get an alert. The metric would be CPU usage percentage minimum is greater than 85. Scope, let's choose all available entities. In case you want to restrict it to a specific host, You can do that as well by choosing the selected entities only option. So here let's choose all available options. Now create. So we have this created. Now go to the alerts and create a new alert. VM CPU usage alert. So alert on events. Choose add events. Entity type is VM. Choose this. Add this one event. Apply on scope. Apply on all available entities. If you have pre-configured alert channels, you can choose that. If you want any messages to be passed, you can choose the payloads as well, and then click on create. So this creates an alert, and it gets triggered when the CPU usage exceeds 85% on any one of your VM hosts. That was pretty simple and easy to configure Instana for monitoring, right?